Here's a random fun-filled fact. Say that 10 times fast. Sir Francis Bacon is quoted as saying, "Knowledge itself is power." Totally disagree. I'll see you on the inside.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
I have the weird habit of looking up things that I hear. Like, for example, the whole 9 yards. I didn't know what that meant. I always thought it was a football reference. Like when somebody says, give him the whole 9 yards. It's a reference in regards to machine guns, and a belt is 9 yards. And I think it was in World War I. I could be mistaken. Shoot me if I'm wrong. Or World War II. But it was a reference that was said basically, give him the whole 9 yards. Give him all you've got. Give him everything. Kind of a cool quote. And when it comes to the quote, knowledge is power, I thought that was a wonderful quote. And I thought to myself, well, if I have all the knowledge that I need in a certain topic, whatever that may be, and I'm the most educated in that topic, then quite frankly, I'll be the most powerful. And by being powerful, I'll influence, and with influence comes money and all the other stuff that goes along with it. But the truth is, it's not true at all. Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but unless you apply those principles, you really got nothing. So it's all about application. It's all about living in accomplishment, the 2 A's. So I want to share with you that I hear, boy, how do I say this without upsetting the audience? I get on a phone call with somebody and they want to make genuine change in their life. Let's say that they're in one of those situations where they're dealing with adversity. And as you deal with the adversity, you understand where you're at. You follow the blueprint. We talked about it. You become aware of where you're at. And more importantly, I think it's super important that along with awareness of where you're currently at, identify how did you get there. Now, in some self-help areas and some guru places that you go, that's not important how you got there. I think it's extremely important because success and failure leaves clues. And if you're in a certain place, if you're aware of where you're at, I think it's really important that you deconstruct on how you got there. Emotionally, mentally, timing, spiritually, what are you drawing in? What are you putting out there? All that stuff really matters. And I really get into that. So when I say that you need to apply yourself, well, you could have all the knowledge in the world and you could have more money than me. You could have more. There's always somebody that's going to be better in one category or another. But when you think about it, are you the best version of yourself? Are you the best player in your game of life that you can possibly be? Do you have all the skills that you need in order to be, I guess, ready for whatever challenges are going to face you? And if you're coming out of adversity, I am here to tell you that getting on the blueprint, it's not the easiest thing in the world. But today is tough. Tomorrow's a little bit tougher. The next day is even more tough. And then you realize after 30 days of dealing with these days that consecutively are getting tougher and tougher, you're just adjusting to the comfort zone. Because you begin to realize how much you can actually take. And again, you can have all the knowledge in the world about a given subject, but until you start applying it, you're going nowhere. You're not going to grow. And that's what all this is about, is growing. It's about you becoming better. How are you going to be becoming better? By challenging yourself. And if you want genuine challenge, then go to thenocomfortzone.com. Get on my calendar, and I'll call you out. I'll find out where you're at. We'll have a conversation about that, and then I'll help you get from point A, where you're currently at, to point B, and that's it. End of story, folks. Point A to point B. Your point A could be everything from I'm mentally not in the best place, spiritually I'm broken, financially I'm ruined, went through a divorce, I'm lonely, I want to be a better parent to my kids, better son or a better daughter to your parents, whatever that might be, whatever's true for you, there's always something to be said. Health, wealth, relationships. We can cover all those things. But the more important part is this: if you were happy, would you even know it? Do you even know what happiness looks like? Because when I get on these phone calls and I'm talking to people, and there's not many, there are very few takers that actually pick up the phone or get on the calendar and take my call. Very few. Maybe it's entertaining to listen to the podcast, I don't know. But with over 14,000 listeners, I'm thinking to myself, why aren't more people calling? And I realized it. You're afraid. You're afraid of that reality check. You're afraid to actually look in the mirror, because the reflection that's going to come back at you is going to tell you that you can be better. You should do more. And if you're on your back, if you're flat out, if you're done, if you threw in the towel, and if you're thinking to yourself, man, the life, it's over, man. It's the light at the end of the tunnel is another train, man, and I don't want to do this anymore. Man, get on my calendar. You have nothing left to lose. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're in a perfect spot, because the only way to go up, and as Les Brown said it best, fall backwards. Hey, at least you can get back up. You can look up. There's a reason why you fall on your back, so you can look up. There's some sort of a positive analogy there, and I want you to understand that. But information applied is where the real power is at. And when you take the information, like the blueprint, and you start applying it, your life's going to change, and it's going to change for the better. It's a guarantee. Because when you do the right thing, the next right thing happens. Imagine this. What if you actually went into your workplace and you did everything for everybody else by doing your job the best way that you could and having the best attitude? Would you create a better environment? Maybe the first day you'd scare the crap out of everybody. Second, third, fourth day, they think you're fake. Fifth, sixth, seventh day, then what would end up happening is you'd probably be laughed at a little bit, ridiculed a little bit. People would get angry at you, and then they would accept it as the truth. It's kind of scary, because there's some leaders in the world, and not good ones, that have done the same thing. Hitler was laughed at, ridiculed, made fun of. People got angry at him, but then everyone bought into what he had to say. One of the most successful tyrants of all time. Now, what if you applied that type of information for good? What if you actually applied genuine leadership skills, genuine good attitude skills, genuine skills that you learned from the blueprint, and you applied that? There's no way you're going to be beaten by any competition whatsoever. There's no way that anyone can stand up to you and say to you, you know what? I have a better way of doing it. Your way is the only way. It's funny. It's 52 hours. 52 hours. Let me repeat that again. 52 hours of listening to the book, 48 Laws of Power. Highly recommend it. It's a book on basically how to be a better leader based on past mistakes or transgressions in the world of leadership, people that have lost their lives, successes of the laws of power, and how they affected society. And it goes over, from I think as early as 300 BC to as current as I think the 1950s. They talked about how these laws of power have applied throughout history. It's a fascinating book. The best part about that book, was one sentence at almost the very end of it, after 52 hours of listening to it. One of the best parts was, history is the best teacher. And you have to forget all the other laws of power that you've heard in this book, because your history is the greatest teacher. And what you need to do is realize that your memory and what you have is going to be the best application of the principles that you've learned in your life towards moving forward. The blueprint brings out your lessons in your life and your history and puts it on a silver platter for you and shows you that all of the stuff that you went through in your life is ideal. You are on the right path towards your success. And your fate is to be successful. You just have to wake up. You have to move forward. You have to gain as much knowledge as you possibly can by going to thenocomfortzone.com or hit me up at dan@thenocomfortzone.com, and then you'll figure something out. That truly your life begins. Truly your life begins outside of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to grow every single day, but nothing's going to happen until you take action and get out of your comfort zone and decide to live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.